Hey everybody, welcome back to our series on cultivating inner resources for challenging times. I hope you're doing well, I hope you're taking care of yourselves, and I hope that you are adapting and adjusting to all of the changes that have come into your life and that you're doing okay with it. So today I want to talk about the theme of knowing our desires. So many of us are, of course, in our homes, and some of us have a great deal more free time than we used to have, and some of us are just in our homes a lot more and have time to think about what we want and don't want in our lives. And knowing what we don't want and what we want in our lives is a fantastic skill to have at times like this. So the poem that came to mind today is it's a lovely poem by Stephen Dunn called The Last Hours. And it's a poem about listening to that still small voice inside and how hard it can be to not only listen to that voice, but to act on it when so many things are telling us to go the other direction. So as I read the poem today, allow the words to settle into you however they need to, and just allow yourself to be here in the present. All right. So this is The Last Hours. There's some innocence left, and these are the last hours of an empty afternoon at the office. And there's the clock on the wall and my friend Frank in the adjacent cubicle selling himself on the phone. I'm 25 on the shaky ladder up, my father's son, corporate, clean-shaven, and I know only what I don't want, which is almost everything I have. A meeting ends. Men in serious suits, intelligent men who've been thinking hard about marketing snacks, move back now to their window offices, worried or proud. The big boss, Horace, had called them in to approve this, reject that. The big boss, a first name, how's your family kind of assassin who likes me. It's 1964. The 60s haven't begun yet. Cuba is a larger name than Vietnam. The Soviets are behind everything that could go wrong. Where I sit, it's exactly 19 minutes to 5. My phone rings. Horace would like me to stop in before I leave. Stop in. Code words, leisurely words that mean now. Would I be willing to take on this? Would X's office, who by the way is no longer with us, be satisfactory? About money, will this be enough? I smile, I say yes, and yes, and yes. But, and I don't know from what calm place this comes, I'm translating his beneficence into a lifetime, a life of selling snacks, talking snack strategy, thinking snack thoughts. On the elevator down, it's a small knot, I'd like to say, of joy. That's how I tell it now, here in the future, the fear long gone. By the time I reach the subway, it's grown, it's outsized, an attitude finally come round, and I say it quietly to myself, I quit. And keep saying it, knowing I will say it, sure of nothing else but. Yes, we've all had those times in our lives when we knew something that we needed to do or something that we needed to say, and how hard it was to nurture that and to keep that alive, and harder still to act on it. There's such a lovely stage setting and atmosphere to that poem. It brings us into a very particular time and place in North American culture, and all of us, of course, are living in our own time and place, and we are surrounded by our own atmosphere that makes things as equally alive and present to us. And it's in these spaces that we are navigating all of the decisions that we need to make about what we're doing and where we go with our lives. And this time that we're in is presenting us with an opportunity to think a little more deeply, a little more critically and thoughtfully about what we want more of in our lives and what we want less of in our lives. And one of the beautiful things about this poem is how wonderfully, it describes the delicate beauty of knowing what we want, that there's a preciousness to that thought. There's a almost fragility sometimes to those deeper desires that we have. And it is especially important for us to cultivate the ability to know, to discern what we want and need, and to be able to act on it. And that can be so, so hard. But as all of you have been navigating these spaces in your lives, as we have all been navigating a changed landscape, it gives us a little bit of distance to be able to see what we want more of and less of in our lives. Maybe there are things that you're missing that you want more of, and you notice now how important they are. Or maybe there are things in your lives that you have more of that you realize you don't want. So whatever the case might be, as you navigate all of these questions and the changed landscape of your world, some questions to hold in your heart today. What still small voice is calling out in you? What still small voice is calling out in you? What is it that your heart wants, but is not yet able to speak? So I wish you well. I hope you're doing okay. Hope you're taking care of yourselves. Feel free to join us tomorrow when our theme will be feeling free. I look forward to seeing you then, and take care.